Hey, what's going on, guys? This is ETA Prime back here again. Today I am back with the GPD XD Plus. Alright, so this is kind of my second review. I received a new unit from the company I bought this from. I paid out of my own pocket. Nobody sent me one for a review. I was having a lot of issues with performance in some emulators and some games with the original one I purchased. I went ahead and exchanged this for another unit. Now the performance is a lot better, but it's not as good as I was expecting. So I've owned tons of Android devices and I've never had this issue before. The original one that I purchased and I received, I believe had a bad CPU in it. In a lot of native Android games and let's say the Dreamcast emulator, I was getting really horrible performance. I believe what was happening was the CPU was underclocking because it was overheating so quickly. I'm not 100% sure that that was the exact issue I was having with the original GPD XD Plus I purchased, but this new one that they sent me in exchange actually does perform better. But right off the bat, it's not much of an upgrade from the original GPD XD. Putting a plus on the end of something, I expect it to be at least double the performance, and this is definitely not double the performance in real-world situations. I'm going to go over the specs one more time here. We got the GPD XD Plus. It's powered by a 6-core MediaTek MT8176. The fastest cores are clocked at 1.8 GHz. As for the GPU, we have the PowerVR GX6250 at 600 MHz, 4 GB of DDR3 memory. The screen is the exact same size as the original GPD XD. It's a 5.5-inch IPS 720 display, but it is more vibrant. The colors pop a lot better. Storage, 32 GB built into the unit I have, plus a micro SD card slot. It does run Android 7.1 and the Wi-Fi is much better than the original GPD XD. We have 802.11 BGN and AC. It's dual band 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz. So you will be able to get farther range and faster speeds with the built-in Wi-Fi chip. I have updated the firmware to the latest version as of making this video. It's 1.10. I also made a tutorial on upgrading firmware. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link in the description. So I've spent a lot of time with both the first generation XD and the XD Plus, and to tell you the truth, there's not much of an upgrade here with the Plus version. I went ahead and did some testing. I did some recording here. We're going to get into that, but I will be making more videos on the XD Plus. Next, I want to test some PSP games in a single video. I also want to go over Dreamcast one more time. First thing I wanted to do was kind of compare the XD Plus to the original XD. This is Sonic Adventure 2 running on the latest CI build of Recast. As you can see, the XD Plus is outperforming the original XD, at least in this section of the game. Performance with both of these units is a little inconsistent because when I move over to a different section in the same game, the XD is outperforming the XD Plus. Really odd. So overall in Dreamcast performance, both of these aren't very great. I mean, they do perform very similarly, but as you saw at the very beginning, the XD Plus was outperforming the XD by a lot, and now the XD is outperforming the XD Plus. One game I always get requests for is Shenmue, or Shenmue, however you want to pronounce it. Here on the left we have the XD Plus, on the right we have the original XD. They are neck and neck. If one of them drops down to 24, the other one's at 26 and vice versa. So at least in Dreamcast emulation, there's not much difference between the Plus and the original XD. In some other emulators, you will get better performance with the Plus, like PSP, because we do have Vulkan support, and it does help out quite a bit in some games. Here we have some Sega Saturn emulation. This is Panzer Dragoon. FPS is listed in the top left-hand corner. Again, not quite at 60 FPS. This is a harder emulator to run. You will be able to get away emulating some of the 2D Sega Saturn games, but most of these games will lag on this unit. I did try Virtua Fighter and Virtua Fighter 2, and both of them just scrambled the screen. No matter what kind of settings I used, I can't get them to play. Here we have the Dolphin emulator emulating GameCube, and it runs horribly. This will never run GameCube games at full speed. It's never going to run PS2 games at full speed. The CPU and GPU are just way too underpowered. Just wanted to get this out of the way because everybody's going to be asking about it. Next up, I tried some PSP emulation. God of War isn't going to run on here. Neither is Killzone Liberation, either with OpenGL or Vulkan. This is on 2x resolution. This is Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, and as you can hear, the sound is very glitchy. If we swap it to 1x, the game's very playable. But really, what's the point if you can't upscale? The first gen GPD XD will play this game at 1x no problem. I had a lot of people asking me about PUBG, and one of the cool things about this handheld here, the first gen and the XD Plus, is the ability to map your controllers. This is built in. There's a button on the unit you press. It'll bring up this menu. You place your buttons where the on-screen buttons are, and now you can use the physical controller. So with PUBG, there's a lot going on, so when you get into a car or open a door, you'll have to press the button and map another button to it, because right now I only got punch, walk, I can look around, I can crouch, I can jump, I can lay down. We're going to get into some gameplay. It actually plays this game pretty well. Now, I'm not a PUBG kind of guy, so I will get massacred if anybody comes up on me. I'm going to try to find a vehicle to hop in. But I'm using the built-in controller on the GPD XD because I have mapped it to the touchscreen buttons. And it works perfectly. The GPD XD Plus will handle a lot of these native Android games pretty well for what it is. Now, if you want to play something like this or Asphalt, you won't have any trouble playing it on the XD Plus. So overall, the GPD XD Plus really isn't a bad handheld emulator. If you already own the first gen GPD XD, don't go out and buy this one. I said that in my original video, but I have to say it again here because I know a lot of people were expecting a big upgrade, and it's really not. If you're looking for an all-around little gaming handheld, this is awesome. You can play SNES, NES, PSP, Dreamcast, Neo Geo, arcade titles. You even got Kodi, Android apps. There are literally tens of thousands of things that you can do with this GPD XD Plus, but it won't play GameCube and it's not going to play PS2. Also, some PSP games are out of the question. But if you're looking for an all-around multimedia handheld device with a controller built in, this is a pretty good option. They're like $200 on GearBest, but if you want to order one on Amazon and get Prime shipping, you're going to pay a premium, about $250. If you can wait it out from GearBest, I suggest getting from them. I'll leave links in the description if anybody's interested. So when I purchased this, I was actually expecting a really huge upgrade over the original GPD, and you're really not going to find that here. One of the big upsides to this is the new 5 GHz Wi-Fi. So if you want to do Steam streaming to this unit, it's going to work a lot better than the original one. I ran an Antutu benchmark on both of these units, and as you can see, the XD Plus is on the right hand side. It almost doubled the score that the original GPD XD got. But these are benchmarks, it's not real world performance. If you were to base your assumption off of these benchmarks, you'd think that the XD Plus is double the performance of the original. And it is in synthetic benchmarks, but when you get down to real emulation and native Android gaming, you're not going to notice a huge gap between the two of these. So if you've been thinking about getting either the GPD XD or the XD Plus, I would definitely go with the Plus. It has a newer operating system, 7.1 instead of 5.1. It also has a better Wi-Fi chip, better screen, and there's probably more support coming down the road from GPD themselves. They've already put out about 4 updates. I am on the latest version, like I mentioned, version 1.10. I did make a video if you're interested in updating your GPD XD Plus. It's a good little unit, and for $200, it's really hard to beat something like this. If you already own a higher-end Android phone with like a Snapdragon 835 or even an 845 that came out in the Galaxy S9, there's no need for you to buy something like this. Pick you up a Bluetooth controller with a clip, throw your phone in there, and you can do everything that the XD does, but even better. So that's it for this video, guys. I really appreciate you watching. I do have some more videos on the GPD XD Plus coming up in the next few days. The next one will be PSP emulation. I'm going to test 6 to 10 different games, depending on what you guys want to see. So let me know in the comments below, and like always, thanks for watching.